up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So we got another episode of This Week in Warframe. We're going the entire weekly reset, and yeah, you saw that thumbnail right. It's the last season for this current 1999 calendar year. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen next week, but we'll see what we got today. So yeah, reminder too, a lot of this stuff is going to reset next week if you have been doing these calendar resets for 1999, but we'll get into that when we get to that point. So if you enjoy these videos, though, we're live on stream right now. We're doing these weekly reset videos and missions live with the stream. So come on, stop by if you're not already. All right, first weekly reset item at Tasha. You got a Umbra Forma for 150 steel essence. So pretty nice to have. These come by like basically once every 2 months. And you might want to grab this for 150 steel essence. Get your evergreen stuff at the bottom too. Shouldn't be any issues with that. So yeah, DE is still on vacation. There might be some DE employees returning to the studio tomorrow. But from what I've been hearing, there probably won't be a hot fix at least until like next week at the earliest. So maybe a hot fix this week, but likely no. We'll be expecting some hot fixes and some infested lich info later in the month. Moving on to our second weekly reset item, we got the Dorma Zone over here. Now this is not the most important place, and I saw you guys talking and arguing in the comments for last week about the whole reactors thing. You're allowed, yeah, if you hate farming Pathos clamps like you were saying, go ahead and grab them for your very limited Nightwave creds, but I'm just starting to let you know the actual strat people that play this game a lot, okay? So if you want to go drop your Nightwave creds, be my guest, but for most of us, Pathos clamps is a better way to do it. It's just a 20-minute mission to get those Pathos clamps in the first place. Speaking of Pathos clamps, what do you got available for Pathos clamps this week? You got the Companion Ribbon mod for 20 Pathos, quite nice, well the only place to get that. A Forma Blueprint for 10 Pathos. Huva for 10 Pathos, a Rifle Ribbon for 15 Pathos, so don't forget about that. There's going to be infested Lich Kodo weapons on the way this could work for. And the last item is going to be 25 Pathos for a secondary arc and adapter. As far as what's good here this week, just get the ribbons, honestly. If you want to get them, that is. Let's move on to the big, exciting stuff. We got the new 1999 calendar buffs. And like I said earlier, guys, a lot of this stuff is going to reset next week. So all the accumulated buffs you've gotten, like, all these, Owie buffs, all these Amir buffs, they will go away next week, okay? Because the calendar year will finish next week for Warframe. We start the autumn season, the final one. Let's see what we got ahead in store for us this week, because there might be some pretty exciting stuff here. Like, there was exciting stuff last week, for sure. First, weekly challenge for the autumn season of this rotation is going to be kill 250 Scaldra, pretty straightforward. And from your choices afterwards, you've got three choices to go between. You've got Your Back for Nyx giving increased Spectre Companion damage. So now this could be the triple stacked moment for you, because this was one of the things in the first couple of weeks you could pick. You could have picked this a total of 3 times for 750% companion damage at this point. So if you have that 3 times, good. Have fun with that. It will last for about a week. Next one, Toxic Shot. The second time this one's appeared, you've got add a 25% gas stash chance to primary and secondary weapons. So we already did test this a little bit, and it seems like it is not it's not forced gas procs, it's just gas procs as an option on what you're procking from your gun. So not super OP, but still the second week for this one too. So it'd be 50% gas status chance on your primary and secondary if you have this double stacked. Next one, Bald Lightning. Now we did already have this one, so this one getting stacked up again will be very strong. Built-in electric procs on all weapons, and increased stash damage of electricity on all weapons. This works on lots of stuff, and now you can double stack it to 50% stash damage for electricity procs. Very, very powerful. As far as what's the best one to pick here, I think it will depend what options you picked in the previous week. So if you've already picked Bottled Lightning, double up on Bottled Lightning. If you've already picked Got Your Back, double it up, and maybe even double up Quincy's Toxic Shot as well. As far as your first loot you get from doing this stuff, you can get either 2 Arcanes for the new update or an Exilus weapon adapter. The Arcanes are they're pretty high in supply nowadays, so don't worry about getting that one. Next challenge, get 150 melee kills. And after that, you get to pick between a random Arcane from the update or a secondary Arcane adapter. Probably go for the secondary Arcane adapter. And honestly, for a lot of these ones that say Arcanes or adapters, usually you're going to go for the adapter because the Arcanes are so cheap now. Next one at Kill 20 Eximus, that's pretty straightforward. You get 2 birthdays in a row. You got Eleanor's birthday and Arthur's birthday, right there, basically. And for the loot, you get either a Forma, fully built, or a guaranteed blue Archon shard. And for your buffs after that, looks like we have a new one here. You've got Overpower as the first option. So these are new buffs, okay. Casting ability increases ability strength by 2% and efficiency by 1% per unit of energy. What the? Used for the ability for 5 seconds. I don't see a cap on this. I don't see anything that says this is limited in any way. So if you drop 200 energy, or sorry, if you drop 100 energy on a build, you get 200% power strength for 5 seconds? There has to be a cap on this. That sounds crazy powerful. Okay, got it. That sounds really, really, really strong. Next one, Dynamo Jump, another new buff here. We've got, on landing from a bullet jump, gain 50% electricity damage for 5 seconds. Wow, so that should be basically always available? Yeah, that's true. It is negative efficiency. So if you drop the 100 energy on an ability, it would make the second ability have a doubled up energy cost, basically. So you'd have 200% extra strength, but probably minus 100% efficiency, too. So that sounds interesting. We'll try it out for sure. But yeah, it sounds very, very powerful. This one with Amir, after landing from a bullet jump, you will get increased electric damage for 5 seconds. That can stack very nicely with Ball and Lightning, so maybe try that combination out. And for the last one, you got Slice and Dice from Arthur. Melee slide attacks increase slide attack crit chance by 5%, slide speed by 20%, and reduced slide friction by 10% for 10 seconds with each slide melee attack, max of 10 stacks. That's a lot to read. It seems like they're trying to make Maiming Strike not as terrible as it currently is. So I'd say out of these 3 buffs, the most exciting sounding one is maybe Overpower, but these other 2 ones sound really good too. So make your decision. I'll probably end up going with Overpower on stream tonight. Next one, kill 500 enemies. Any enemy will do. You get either a secondary Arcane Adapter or 2k Kuva, so not a whole lot of Kuva. So probably just go for this one. Next, you've got the Shock and Awe, kill 500 Scalded Troops with abilities, so pretty straightforward there. And you get Quincy's birthday. And for your final options for perks until the next season rotates next week, you've got Practice Precision from Arthur, giving increased crit chance for melees. This is the second week this appears, so you can have that doubled up. Psionic Feedback for Eleanor, on damage, 10% chance to set off a 250 damage, 5-meter blast of radiation damage on taking damage. So basically think of it like Nourish, but for rad procs. Sounds not that great. It's also only 5 meters, so pretty small. But sounds cool either way. And the last one, the third week it's here, Power Gains has returned another 25% power strength to just triple stack it for even more power strength. So good stuff there for sure. And for your final tiers of loot, you got Aura Forma, or a primary Arcane Adapter, so pretty good stuff there. And then kill 1 tank, and you get a guaranteed 3-day mod booster out of doing that. So very good loot this week. And also, don't pick the double arcades. 3-day mod booster is one of the only places in the whole game this comes from. Go ahead and grab that. And a very nice week of overrides there. Let's move on to the EDA, so we can do the EDA coverage, Archon Hunt coverage, and also your Incarnon. So, starting off the EDA on Daimos Basement, this requires rank 5 with the Kavia Syndicate to access this mission, and this is a great location to get, not guaranteed, but the highest drop rate in the game, Archon Tau Shards. The only way to get a higher chance of Archon Tau Shards to have the pity system stack up and get a guaranteed shard from the Archon Hunt. But either way, if you have rank 5 of the Kavia Syndicate unlocked, you can do these weekly missions that a lot of players do for tons and tons of shards. Let's go over what mission types we've got this week. Okay, so it looks like a pretty straightforward week of the EDA. You've got the first mission being Survival, second mission being Mirror Defense, and third mission being Exterminate. As far as your modifiers on here, you've got the first one, Parasitic Towers. Life support towers in this Survival don't work properly. You have to kill 20 enemies nearby them within a 15-meter radius to activate the life support towers. Additionally, second modifier, Myopic Munitions. Enemies will only take damage if a player is within 15 meters of them, and also all enemies will slowly regenerate health. So pretty straightforward. Just make sure that you're careful with those Parasitic Towers, because that could be you not having any life support drops. Near Defense, first mission type, first modifier, Glyph Inflation. The security system requires twice as many glyphs to activate, so be constantly picking up glyphs. Alluring Arcanids. The dog robots will charge their attacks and pull Warframes towards them, a free modifier basically. And Fortified Foes. Guardian Eximus units may appear, including Guardian Eximus mechs. Biggest problem here is just making sure the thing stays alive, so they don't have any overguard or anything like that, so just activate Glue, activate Silence, you'll be good to go on this one. And for your final mission, a freebie, the Exterminate mission. First modifier, Fissure Cascades. Fissures rip into the mission, leveling up the enemies 1 per 10 seconds. Destroy these fissures to make them stop leveling up. It's totally free. Second one, Entanglement. Allies within 4 meters of a slain enemy have reduced movement speed and parkour velocity. Free. And the third one, Rupturing Fragments, replace Shuffling Fragments. So the little arm guys that crawl around, they will explode now for a bunch of damage. Pretty much free as well. So a very easy EDA there. As far as your individual modifiers, you can choose to turn these on if you want some more loot. You've got Frame Curse Syndrome. Activating ability will deal 50 damage to you. Fractured Armor casting ability also reduces your armor by 10%. Gear Embargo, no gear can be used. It's a pretty annoying one. Means no elite on calls, no energy pads, etc., etc. And Energy Exhaustion, lose 2 energy per second for every enemy within 10 meters of you. Pretty easy EDA in my opinion, especially with that Exterminate at the end being the most free mission possible. If you're rank 5 with the Caveat, so you also get access to a guaranteed weekly shard from Bird 3, and Bird 3's got a Amber Archon shard this week. So yeah, lots and lots of Archon shards available if you have the rank ups required in this place. So let's move on to our remaining weekly items, such as Incarnons and Archon Hunts. Alright, starting off the Archon Hunt right here, we've got the Wolf Archon, giving red Archon shards. We got Spy, Interception, and the Final Boss Showdown. So, really straightforward stuff here. Remember, this is the special hacking puzzle for the Archons or whatever, so you can use things like the auto-hack ability from the Helmet to do that challenge really easily, but ciphers don't work in sorting, so just be aware of that. You might do that special hacking puzzle in here, but it's going to be pretty straightforward and easy. Good luck getting that Archon red Tau shard. Moving on to the Incarnons and Deviri stuff. We've got the Deviri normal circuit frames here. We've got Excalibur, Trinity, and Ember. Now, as far as who's the most annoying to farm, Ember comes from Sargus Ruck on Saturn, very easy to farm. Excalibur, I believe, is, it's on Ceres against Vor and whatever that hammer guy's name is, really easy to farm. But Trinity comes from Ambulus on Jupiter, or on Pluto, and that fight takes a while. So I'd say, instead of farming Excalibur from the hammer guy, or farming Ember from the other easy boss, the flamethrower guy, go for Trinity here and bypass her annoying grind, if you even want to get her in the first place. Her helmet is not the best, but yeah, it's a guaranteed way to get all Trinity parts without having to do any of the whatever that thing's called, the Ambulance fight, and that's pretty good in my opinion. Might have a new video on Trinity's rework in the near future as well. Alright, we're going to new Incarnons here. We've got some of the heavy hitters in Warframe available this week. But a reminder, if you haven't played in a while, you can grab Kuva or Rivens instead of Incarnons if you already have all these things. You want to double stack them. But yeah, we got some of the best stuff in the game here this week. The Torrid Incarnon, the Dual Tox Incarnon, the Dual Ichor Incarnon, the Miter Incarnon, and the Atomos Incarnon. Now, as far as what's the best of the best, it's going to depend on what you already have or what you are looking for, basically. So as far as the Torrid Incarnon, it starts as an infested grenade launcher, and once you get some body shots or head shots, you will build up your Incarnon charge. Once the Incarnon meter is filled to your liking, you can activate Incarnon form to make this thing a chaining toxin beam with relatively good range, too. This thing has very high stats, and the built-in toxin allows some pretty nice combinations of elements. With some of the tiers on here, like Survivor's Edge, giving hybrid stats like crit and status, you can get lots of procs and lots of damage, too. This thing is viewed as one of the most powerful weapons of the game by a lot of players, including me, and it is used a lot. Like, it's used a lot. And also, if you didn't know this, the Riven mods for Incarnons will not be nerfed, according to DE. Because, unless they're, air quotes, deemed a problem, Riven mods for Incarnons will not be nerfed. So, hooray. Honestly, hopefully, I didn't describe it that much, but it's a very top-tier shading beam that has, like, toxin procs. So it can bypass enemy shields, too. We've got to do another top-tier weapon. We've got the Dual Toxicist Incarnon. This is one of the best pistols in the game, not even joking, like literally just so good. And I've actually got a new video on it, probably on the future in this upcoming week. So, after a couple headshots, this thing will become full auto and ricochet to nearby enemies in its Carnon form. And it also gets some built-in toxin procs too after you get a headshot. Or whatever the toxin damage, not toxin procs technically. Some of these perks are really strong. Fevered Frenzy on ability cast, get multi-shot, stack up to 20 times. So if you cast 20 abilities, you get 100% multi-shot built in. Very, very strong right there. It's like having a maxed out mod just as a perk. Additionally, Commodore's Fortune gives you a big crit chance. And yeah, just got really, really good stuff on here. It shreds maximal enemies in like one bullet, and it's just good in general. So a top tier choice this week for sure. Dual Ichor Incarnon is a dual sword melee Incarnon. After you get 6x combo multiplier, you're going to do a heavy attack, you will transform into a Incarnon form, and after that, kills will create a toxin damage field where the enemy died at. Additionally, that toxin field nowadays can proc modded elementals. So if you have let's say you have an electric build on there, or you have a corrosive build, you would proc corrosive in these clouds, not just toxin. It used to be only toxin, they actually buffed it to make it proc whatever you modded for. So you'd have a gas cloud, viral cloud, etc., etc. Very nice for kind of AoE melee in a way. Some of the things on this, some of the perks of this Incarnon are pretty decent too, like Absolute Valor giving a ton of status chance, 34%, and yeah, just a pretty powerful melee in general. probably like 3rd or 4th place this week. Miter Incarnon, one of my favorites, but definitely a very clunky feeling Incarnon. After getting some headshots, this thing will become a homing, bouncing, exploding fire saw launcher. Yeah, I forgot the homing part. It homes in on enemies, which can be annoying or good. It explodes and bounces between multiple enemies. It has very, very good base damage and crit. This thing is great for killing acolytes in one shot. Additionally, it has an augment mod called Neutralizing Justice that can actually instantly pop nullifier bubbles too. And that works in the Incarnon form. So you can basically fire one shot, every nullifier in the room is gone. Whether their bubble's gone, they're probably instantly dead after that as well. So very good anti-nullifier weapon, very powerful anti-acolyte weapon. Just a very clunky weapon though, unfortunately, because it requires headshots with a saw blade launcher. And it only has like 20 ammo for Incarnon too. So not exactly the best quality of life, but good damage in the first place. And for your Atomos Incarnon, your final option this week, you got a chaining, or it starts chaining actually. The Incarnon form changes, but this thing already chains at default between enemies with a fire beam pistol. But once you get some headshots, you'll have a high-powered grenades. So a very hard-hitting grenade that can one-shot acolytes easily. It has very good AoE size as well. The only issue of this thing being, its chaining actually is a detriment in some ways. Because you have to get headshots on this thing, unlike the Torrid. You'll be getting headshots of one enemy, but the chaining of that enemy being killed kills enemies nearby it that you want to get headshots from. So it has a bit of an Incarnon ammo issue sometimes, but besides that, it's got great perks like Moonrise Velocity giving more beam range, which is very good for beam weapons. Paladin Virtue giving increased base crit damage, very good for scaling. And yeah, increased crit, increased status, you take your pick on the final tier options. It's a very powerful weapon, but definitely one of the lower tier options this week because of its issues getting Incarnon ammo. Now that we've all said what all this stuff does, what are my best recommendations for this week? Well, it depends if you want to get a new primary or a new secondary first, because number 1, number 2 will be the Torrid and the Toxicist. But I'd say as far as which one you pick first, depends on what you want. Are you still okay with your Nanoroot from the story? Then maybe go Torrid second, Toxicist first. Do you have the Latum after the story? Maybe you go for the Torrid and use the Torrid and the Latum and not worry about the dual Tox for a bit. It really depends on you guys, but yeah, the number 1, number 2 this week will be these two. These are some of the best weapons of the game. Now, these weapons over here are very good too, but these are going to be after you pick these first two. If you don't have these yet, get these first. And then after that, number 3 and number 4 probably be like number 3 Miter, I guess. Number 4 Dual Ichor. But it's really up to you guys. If you have these two already, you're good on any of these to pick. I'd say Miter number 3, Dual Ichor number 4, and then Atomos number 5, with Miter and Dual Ichor being able to be changed between 3 and 4. So, hope that was helpful to you guys. Really, some of the top tier Incarnons this week, you need to get some of those if you don't have them already. Let's finish up the Nightwave and stuff, and we'll move on to getting the stuff grinded out. I want to see what those buffs are looking like in actual mission. All right, for your Nightwave challenges here, you got... Now, a reminder, too, there is no info on Nightwave ending. The DE did say there would be a big dev stream at the end of the month, but that dev stream will probably be on the 31st of January, so no rush at all. But for your first weekly, find 6 sabotage caches in any missions. Next one, complete 3 spy missions, pretty straightforward there. There's a spy mission in the Archon sortie, so pretty straightforward. Ascending, complete 4 halls of ascension on Lua. There's some hidden rooms on Lua, like this one right here, the Octavia room. You can do these puzzle challenges to get more Nightwave rep. And some actual guaranteed free, rare mods, too. And for your Elite Weekly, the second Elite Weekly, you got Elite Explorer, complete 8 Railjack missions. Then your Permanent Weeklies, kill 30 Eximus, complete 15 missions, and kill 500 enemies. For your Nightwave store... See if you got anything weird or cool in here. Just your default stuff at the top as per usual. Got a Corvex helmet, a Stevagoth helmet, Stynex helmet, all this stuff. Stynex has a lot of helmets, I noticed. Not seeing any arcane helmets in here, unfortunately. But as far as your aura mods and stuff here, you got Exposing Harpoon for the Heart Pack, Wild Front of the Gracata, which is pretty funny with Cyto 9. Range Advantage for the Axe Jagara, pretty bad mod in my opinion. Loot Detector for an aura mod, very good. Rifle Amp for rifle damage, kind of okay. EMP Aura, definitely not the most used. And then for the last one, Combat Reload for the Tigress. After getting headshots for the Tigress, you'll get Quick Reload. There you go. Where's that Tigress Incarnate, DE? As far as Mastery Fodder stuff here, you got the Pangolin Sword Normal Blueprint and the Heat Dagger, the Heat Sword Blueprint. And as far as Conclave mods, you got Shrapnel Rounds for the Merlock, Focus Acceleration for the Tetra, Rumble for Atlas, and Prism Guard for Mirage. I love Prism Guard for Mirage. The rest of these are kind of forgettable. And that's going to be basically your entire weekly reset, guys. Yeah, a ton of stuff to do this week. You got some new... I think there's actually a new Prime Resurgence starting on Thursday, too. But you got great Incarnons. You got Umbra format Teshin, just a ton of stuff to farm, and also Infested Liches should be next month, so good stuff. Get your stuff all grinded out before that, because there'll be a lot to grind after that month is up. Now, as far as these invigorations, these are random per player per week, and if you want to unlock this stuff, you can unlock it from the upstairs of Deimos from Sun. You can also buy it in the market technically if you want to. But as far as these perks, let's see what we got. Okay, so DE wants me to play Komi pretty badly, it looks like. I've got energy rate and power strength on Komi. I'm not a big fan of Komi, but this might make me actually play her a little bit at least. A big, big buff for her. Oh man, we got a Nyx invigoration. Nice! Okay, secondary crit chance and reload speed. That's not too terrible. I mean, if you use my Angstrom video from my Angstrom build for a couple days ago, this would go great for my Angstrom. More crit chance for red crit one-shots. Reload speed because the Angstrom reloads a lot. This is actually pretty nice for Nyx. I might actually have to use that one if we do another level 10,000. And for the final one, who is that frame? Who is that? Corvix. I got 100% ability range and 1,000 extra health on Corvix. Well, unlike Komi, I actually sometimes forget that Corvix exists. So I guess I could maybe use that one for some big range on Corvix to grab enemies around. So either way, he's got a lot of armor, so not that terrible. So hope you guys had a great time watching this video. As much fun I had making it. I will see you on stream very soon. We'll do all these missions on stream together and get all those resets done. There might be some big story stuff with this update starting next week, so make sure you're coming by the live stream channel on these weekly reset streams to see what happens. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Appreciate all the support and take it easy. Peace.